Have you ever really stopped to think about what happens to your digital life when you're gone? And I don't just mean your social media accounts. I mean your real, tangible digital wealth, your cryptocurrency. It's a question that's getting more and more urgent every single day, especially as we build these fortunes in a world that our traditional legal systems, well, they just weren't designed for.
Okay, let's just start with a number that should really make you sit up and pay attention. 1.5 million. That's the estimated number of Bitcoin that might be lost forever. We're talking about 7.5% of the entire supply just locked away in digital vaults with no key. It wasn't hacked, it wasn't spent, it's just gone because the owners passed away without a plan. That is an unbelievable amount of wealth that has literally just vanished into thin air. This quote, right here, it gets to the absolute heart of the problem. The whole promise of crypto is self-sovereignty, right? You are in complete control. Be your own bank. That's the mantra we all know. But that promise comes with this massive, massive responsibility. There is no customer service hotline for your family to call. There's no branch manager they can go see with a death certificate. If your private keys are lost, the assets they protect are gone. And not just for a little while, I mean forever.
So what we're dealing with here is nothing short of a full-blown digital inheritance crisis. The legal frameworks we've used for centuries, the ones built on paper and trust in people, are just slamming into the cryptographic reality of digital assets. And, spoiler alert, they are fundamentally, completely incompatible.
And this is where the old world tools just completely fail. Your first thought might be, hey, I'll just put my seed phrase in my will. Simple enough. But that is a catastrophic mistake. During the probate process, a will often becomes a public document. Anyone can look it up. You would literally be publishing the master key to your entire crypto portfolio for the entire world to see. It's like leaving a signed blank check taped to a public bulletin board. It's just not an option.
Let's just compare these two models side by side because the difference is incredible. On one hand, you have the traditional route, a human executor who can make mistakes, who can be slow, who can even be biased, navigating a probate court system that can drag on for months or even years. All of that with the huge risk of your private information becoming public. But then, look at the other side, programmable inheritance. Here, immutable code is your executor. It's deterministic. It's an automated system that executes transfers almost instantly, in a totally trustless, decentralized way with none of the friction from courts or banks. The contrast, it really couldn't be more stark.
So this brings us to this really revolutionary idea, the thing that's at the center of this whole explainer. What if we could replace that slow, fallible, human executor with something better, something more reliable? What if we could use immutable code to carry out our final wishes with absolute mathematical precision?
And the tech that makes all this possible is the smart contract. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital vending machine. You put your money in, that's the trigger. You push the button for your snack, those are the terms of the agreement. And the machine automatically gives you what you ask for, that's the execution. A smart contract does the exact same thing with assets on a blockchain. When a specific, verifiable event happens, the code just runs. It automatically executes the instructions you gave it. No lawyers, no banks, no intermediaries needed.
And this right here is the huge paradigm shift we're talking about. We are automating the move away from a static piece of paper, a will that needs to be interpreted by lawyers and judges, and toward a dynamic, living vault that literally executes its own instructions. It's an active system for wealth transfer, not some passive document left to human guesswork.
Okay, so how does this actually work in the real world? Let's dive into the specific technologies that come together to build these incredible automated inheritance systems.
First up, you have oracles. You see, smart contracts are brilliant, but they're kind of stuck inside the blockchain. They can't access real-world data on their own. Oracles are the crucial bridge. They are services that securely go out, grab off-chain information, like a verified death certificate from a government database, and feed it to the smart contract. That's the real-world trigger that tells the code, okay, it's time to run.
Next, we've got something called account abstraction. And honestly, this is a total game changer. Think of it like this. It basically upgrades your standard normal crypto wallet into a powerful, programmable smart contract wallet. This means you can literally bake the rules of your will directly into the wallet's code. For example, you could program a rule that says, hey, if this wallet has 0 activity for 1 full year, automatically transfer everything to these specific beneficiary addresses. The wallet itself becomes the executor of your will. So what does this look like in practice? Well, let's take a protocol like Sarcophagus, which creates what's called a dead man's switch. Here's how it works.
First, you encrypt a payload. This could be your private keys, final messages, whatever, and you store it on a decentralized network. Step 2, you set what's called a resurrection time in the future. Third, and this is the really important part, you have to periodically sign a transaction to prove you're still around. It's like a digital sign of life. And if you fail to do that, if you go silent and that resurrection time passes, the system just assumes the worst and automatically releases that encrypted payload to the heir you designated. It's a completely trustless, automated system for making sure your legacy gets passed on exactly how you want it.
Hey, just a quick pause here. If you're getting value from this and it's making you think about your own digital future, do me a quick favor. Please hit that like button, subscribe to Digi-Gold, and share this with anyone you think needs to hear about this. It really helps us create more deep dives just like this one.
So we have this incredible, working technology that's ready to solve this huge problem. But it's running headfirst into its biggest roadblock yet, a legal system that moves at a glacial pace, one that was built for a world of paper and ink, not code and cryptography.
And that really says it all, doesn't it? The innovation is here, the tools are built, but the legal frameworks are just struggling to understand this new paradigm, let alone accommodate it. Probate law is just so deeply tied to old-fashioned, formal, paper-based procedures.
And this, right here, is the exact point of friction. Now, the Uniform Electronic Wills Act was a step in the right direction, designed to modernize things, but it has this critical line in it. A smart contract, which is written in a programming language like Solidity, is not readable as text to a judge or your average person. It is executable code. And that single requirement currently makes a pure smart contract will legally invalid in a lot of places.
But you know, it's not all bad news. The law is slowly starting to adapt. The E-Wills Act itself is a huge step. You've got progressive states like Nevada that started recognizing blockchain transactions years ago. New York is now joining a growing list of states allowing e-wills. And Florida has this wild new law that could even create a kind of digital estate planning tourism. So progress is definitely happening. It's just happening one state at a time.
All right, now let's look beyond just solving the immediate problem of losing your assets. Let's explore the truly mind-bending future that this technology is unlocking. We're talking about the multi-generational vault.
The key point to understand here is that this technology takes us way beyond simple inheritance. This is not just about your assets going to your kids when you're gone. This is about creating automated, dynamic systems for wealth management that can execute your wishes across multiple generations for centuries, long after you've departed. And this gives us a great idea of how this could work. Imagine this. Your assets are held in the treasury of a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization that's run entirely by code. This vault could be programmed to release funds to your descendants based on specific life events. A graduation, turning 25, the birth of a child. It can manage not just your crypto, but tokenized real estate, stocks, you name it. The logic that you set in motion, your logic, becomes an immutable law that outlives you, governed entirely by code.
Which leaves us with a final and pretty profound question to think about. Our traditional system of wills relies entirely on human trust. Trust in lawyers, in executors, in courts. But we all know humans can be slow, they can be biased, or even corrupt. So if we can create and verify code that is provably fair, that is deterministic, and that is incorruptible, could a smart contract actually be a more trustworthy executor of our final wishes than any human could ever hope to be? It's a powerful thought, and it's the future that we are building right now.